thinking of Holliday as your DH only, or are you going to ask him to help out in the outfield, first base?
You know, I think we're thinking of him at DH mostly. But depending on what happens in some of these competitions could change the way we use him. But we'd prefer to use him as a DH most of the time.
Is that because of his injury issues?
Just his injuries, his age. You think you can keep him in the lineup more. It's a big bat with power, that sort of thing.
George, behind you. Behind you, George. The guy has it behind you. Okay, go ahead. Doesn't matter.
With all the young players, is it important to get more out of Ellsbury and Headley?
Oh, I think it's important that the production is spread around, and that Els plays the way that he's capable, and Girardi plays the way that he's capable, and Headley plays the way that he's capable. And even though they're younger players, they've been in the big leagues long enough, the Castros, the Didis, that they play the way that they're capable of. Because a lot of times the focus becomes on your young players when your veterans aren't doing their job. And if the veterans do their job, it makes it easier on the young players. So they're really important to us.
Sweeney.
Joe, your first year here in 08, you had 3 young kids in the rotation, and that didn't turn out as well as you'd hoped. Is there anything from that experience that you go forward here? I mean, it's difference between position players and pitchers.
Yeah.
Is there anything there that you can kind of lean on?
Well, I think what you do is you learn from how those guys handled situations. You pull from it if it applies. Some of the struggles they went through, some of the things that you have to deal with young players. Managing in 2006 helped me a lot there with all the young players that I had. I think there's a little bit more depth and people to turn to, so maybe there's, you know, if they are struggling for a little bit, you can send them down and try to get them right and bring other people up in those situations, because, you know, you're going to have five guys, really probably 5 or 6 guys vying for that 2 spots. So there's some depth there, you know, and the big key is, you know, the 3 veteran guys there do their job. So all of it doesn't fall on the young players, and I think it makes it easier for them.
Billy and Jack.
What are you going to do at the top of the lineup? The 1-2
That's
spots?
something we're going to have to see who wins positions before we put the lineup together. I mean, obviously, you know, you could have the 2 guys at the top. You know, could someone emerge to where you could split these guys up, where you're not lefty-lefty and then a lefty maybe hitting 7th or 8th, and it makes it easier for either the opposing manager. You know, I don't necessarily worry a whole lot about Girardi and Ellsbury against lefties, but obviously they're more productive against righties. And you try to set up your lineup that's the hardest way to navigate through. So those are things, that's a big thing I think we have to iron out in spring training, and part of it depends on who's in the lineup.
So last year you used both of them in the leadoff spot, Ellsbury the first half of the season, and Gardner after that. How do you see that top spot? I mean,
that's something that we're going to have to discuss in spring training, talk about, and make a decision, obviously, before opening day. But I didn't really think their numbers adjusted a whole lot when we switched them, so it's something we'll talk about.
And also, you touched on this earlier, maybe with Didi going away for, you know, at least maybe.
Yeah, could be a while.
Yeah.
You don't know. Yeah.
Is Torres one of the guys that during his absence that you might, even if he's not a candidate to make the roster, that you might get a good look at?
Yeah, why not? You know, I've always thought, you know, if you're in camp, you need to play. Whether you're a young player or not, I think you need to play. And, you know, that's one reason why you'll see me try to get every catcher in camp in some capacity. Now, they might play first base, they might DH, they might do something. But you come here and do all the work. I think you need to play, and I think you need to get that feeling of what it's like playing next to veteran players or guys that are big league players. So, yeah, I mean, he is a shortstop, and Didi's going away, so there's going to be some days there.
Jack, if you could just pass it behind you, and then Andrew.
Joe, understanding that baseball is a day-to-day, game-to-game existence and you don't look too far ahead, you're in the final year of your contract. How will that impact you on and off the field? And then the second part of that, will you seek any clarity from ownership about your situation?
It doesn't really impact me. I'm going to go do my job the same way, in the way that I believe is for me, the right way to do it. I won't seek any clarity. They don't. I mean, they have not extended managers as long as I can remember during the course of a season. So I'll just go do my job, and whatever happens, happens. I'm a faithful man, and I believe he's going to put me where he wants me anyway. So let's just go play it out.
This is year 10.
It's a long time.
Do you envision a year 11 and beyond, and
Yeah, I do.
allow yourself?
I mean, I don't envision myself doing anything different, and maybe that's why I don't really think much about it. So this is what I know. This is what I've done for a long time, and just go play it out.
Andrew, we'll take one or two more.
Jack basically stole my questions.
You got a nice beard, by the way. You have to shave before practice.
I will. My question is this: with Alex gone, Derek, Mo, all those guys gone, how does your job change, or does it? With those kind of iconic players now not on the team anymore, and more of a young clubhouse.
Well, I think the biggest way it changes is you're probably helping younger players get through more situations than I didn't really have to help G get through an 0 for 10 or an 0 for 20. I didn't have to help Alex get through. He didn't hit a homer for a week, or when are you going to hit your 500? Those sort of things. These guys were used to it and handling the situation. So, I think as much as X and O's, it's probably managing the outside stuff more, the noise, not looking over your shoulder every day, those sort of things. And obviously with young players, there are certain situations that you have to teach them and how to handle them up here. But a lot of it's the outside stuff that you have to teach them.